Next on the list, Slow West by John McClane. Slow West is a Western. That's the title, and these people here you can tell really a Western movie, and it's kind of slow at first, but I actually really enjoyed this one near the end. You're following Michael Fassbender and this kid Cody Smith. Michael is just kind of like a bounty hunter, and he's searching for folks. And Cody's trying to find his sweetie, who's this girl here who left Ireland, I think, and escaped to America, and he's trying to find her. The story's about them basically going west, and the stuff that happens to them while they're trying. I thought you have some really good chemistry between Michael and Cody here. Pretty good banter, and they just really play off each other very well. Michael Fassbender is obviously an amazing actor. I like him a lot. He's great in everything. I don't know Cody much, but he was good, and I'd check him out if I ever saw him in something else. The direction and cinematography in this were kind of blew me away. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't familiar with this John McClane guy, but this shot here is beautiful, and the movie's just full of just gorgeous shots of the American West, and there's a really good representation actually in this too. There's the Native Americans, like real ones, and it felt very authentic and true to the time. Shooting's also short. It's like not even an hour and a half. So if you just want to pop something on and have a nice little trip, I'd recommend it. The third act was incredible. For me, it gets a solid 7 out of 10. Good A24 movie. Next on the list, Barely Lethal. It's a teenage kind of rom-com movie starring Haley Stanfield, who plays like a special agent who leaves the agency to kind of be a teenager, go out to high school. Interesting concept, terrible execution. I really did not like this movie. I don't know that type of demo, but I'm terribly open-minded. And this movie just wasn't well written. It wasn't well paced. The jokes didn't land. Let's just break it down quick. I want to get started. You got some heavy hitters here. Sam Jackson's in this movie. I'm not really sure why. He doesn't bring anything like that makes the movie bad per se. He's just kind of playing himself, and that's fine because I like Sam. So I'm happy he got an easy page. This gal was also here. I don't know why. Used a paycheck for her. She's in it for like 5 minutes. I don't get it. We also get Sophie Turner, who's only good at Game of Thrones, and I'll stand by that till the day I die until she does something that makes me think differently. I just think she's very overrated, and I don't like her in anything she's in. She's just very one-dimensional and boring as fuck. The entire time I was watching this movie, I was just like, man, there's just like a host of other movies that I'd really be watching that are similar. Clueless, Can't Hardly Wait, She's All That, The Craft, Varsity Blues, just these movies that are about high school experience that are way better than this. I cannot recommend this movie, man. Watch any of those movies instead. This is a solid 3 out of 10 from Steve. Go watch Sinners. Haley's in that, and she's great in it. It was a 2015 documentary directed by Asif Kapadia that I thoroughly enjoyed, even though it was very sad. It really follows Amy from when she was unknown talent to just a superstar on a world stage. Her meteoric rise and tragic downfall is just Shakespearean, but I don't know. The entire time I just wanted to give her a hug because she didn't have any real friends, and I just felt like she wasn't processing her trauma in a way that was healthy, which is why most other people know her, not only for her music, but for her, historic substance abuse. It's just a shame that she couldn't battle those demons because I felt like she was just being used by entertainment properties, people putting her on stage when she needed to be put in the hospital and like given some proper help. Maybe she'd still be here. She was very talented, such an amazing, unique voice. Just gone too soon. So one thing I would say about this movie is you learn that celebrity status probably ain't what it's what it's chalked up to be. And people, and these are human beings, and they should be treated as such. If you're a big fan of Amy, I'd recommend this movie because you really get to kind of see a breakdown of her music, where she was at when she was writing it, which kind of makes it hit even harder. And even if you're just a fan of music in general, this is a really well crafted documentary. I recommend it. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Watch it. This is probably a better read than it is a movie. It's not a bad movie, but it definitely isn't great. Let's break it down. The Editor is a biographical drama film directed by James Ponsel and is starring Jesse Eisenberg, who is a Rolling Stone writer following around Jason Segel, who plays Dave Fester Wallace, who is a writer on his book tour for the book Infinite Jest. Kind of follows him around, and it's like a bit of the book's interviews just in a film format. Over 5 days, they can have conversations about Dave Foster Wallace's past, films, novels, art, addiction, relationships, loneliness, kind of a gamut of things. Some of the conversations I think hit kind of hard, and some of them were just kind of like try hard, in my opinion. But that aside, I think the performances from both of these guys is really great. There's good chemistry there between them as well. I think it was really to start here. I think he really nails David Foster Wallace. If you know who he is, this performance is actually pretty solid. He really nails kind of like the mannerisms, the way Wallace would speak, and a lot of the subject matter that he'd like to talk about as well. Authenticity, depression, and loneliness are big themes in Wallace's catalog, and I think that's brought out well by the performance as well as the script and screenplay. Direction, cinematography, and music are all fine in this. I really just think you'll only appreciate this if you've either read Infinite Jest or care about David Foster Wallace. Otherwise, I skip this one. I give it a solid 6 out of 10. Back on A24, Train Dark Places is next. Dark Places is a adaptation of a Gillian Flynn novel of the same name. It stars Charlize Theron and Nicholas Hoult. Charlize is Libede. She plays a little girl who's grown up and is approached by this group of people that are fascinated with a murder case involving her when she was a child, and her brother is accused of murdering the entire family. Let's break it down. But Jump Straight here, the script for this is just a mess because it's like trying to juggle timelines and there's all these dramatic backstories and character arcs happening. Like none of it sticks because the tone just flip flops and the emotional beats are just kind of tossed in and you don't really care about anyone. On top of that, some of the acting in this is just like, whoo boy. Charlize Theron and Nicholas Hoult are in this, and they're both excellent actors, and they can't even make this script work because it's just not giving them anything. Charlize feels like she's on autopilot. She's doing her best, but she can only do so much. And the supporting cast, Nick's doing the best he can. Chloe Grace Moretz is pretty awful in this, and the boy who plays her boyfriend, I can't remember his name, just as bad. Direction here just misses the mark. Cinematography and the sound is fine, but most of it's kind of dark and flat and uninspired. Thematically, he's just talking about trauma and the media manipulation, and the media part could have been interesting because it's kind of talking about satanic panic, and I think that's really an interesting place to take a movie like this where people are like thinking it's satanically involved, but it's not. But they just don't. It just kind of comes off goofy because the tone, they can't figure it out, and it's just like so bad. It's trying so hard, but it's just not working, baby. All in all, this is on the bottom tier of A24 for me. It's like a frustrating watch. It's joyless. It's really squanders an excellent cast, for the top billing anyway, with a just terrible story. It's clumsy, pacing's trash. It's just not good. A24 took a big swing here because I guess they thought Gone Girl did well, but this is no Gone Girl. This is Gone Girl is bye-bye. Don't want to watch you ever again. 2 out of 10. The A24 party just keeps on going with Mississippi Grind. Mississippi Grind starring Ben Mendelsohn and Ryan Reynolds was actually alright. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. Let's break it down. Ben's really bringing the fire. He's kind of performing his ass off, and Ryan Reynolds is just being Ryan Reynolds, man. Sorry, I just cannot take this dude seriously in anything he's trying to do that's not funny, you know? Story here is about a down-in-his-luck gambler. That's Jerry's his name, played by Ben. And he teams up with Ryan, and they kind of go on this like road trip to New Orleans to win some money big, hopefully, and the shenanigans that they get into. I like the premise. The premise of these two gamblers on like a redemption journey is really interesting. But the screenplay just doesn't offer much beyond a kind of paint-by-numbers character drama. Story beats are largely predictable. Emotionally, never really gets there for me because Ben's really bringing it, and Ryan's trying to, but he just isn't really adding anything to it. You're really watching it because of these two, and like their interactions are fine, but I mean, it's just, you know, Ryan Reynolds, man, damn. Ben's in his bag though. He's acting his ass off. This is probably one of the best performances I've ever seen by him. That dude can get down when he wants to. You got some pretty heavy themes here of like addiction, loneliness, self-sabotage. Everything's present, and it feels deeply explored by Ben's character. But then Ryan's there, and he's just kind of like, I don't really know why he's here. Which this movie would have been better if he wasn't involved, or somebody else was playing his part. I also didn't like the way this movie ended because it almost kind of like reinforced what was happening throughout. But I guess, you know, it's one of those. It's like a happy ending, but it's like, is it deserved? Did the characters deserve this ending? Man, I don't really know. So final thoughts here. Mississippi Grind has potential, especially with Ben crushing it. But I don't know, the core just feels kind of hollow to me. Maybe worth a watch, but it's mid-tier A24. I give it a 5 out of 10. Reckon A24 train, and this is the first movie out of the 25 deep that really broke me emotionally. I was sobbing watching this. It's a heavy watch. Room directed by Lenny Abrahamson. It's based on a novel, and it's about Joy and Jack here, and they are locked in a room. You don't know how they got there. You learn all this as it goes, but this movie, content warning, got some sexual assault here, child abuse. It's a heavy watch, but man, it's good. The screenplay is really nice and tight. It's emotionally layered. You really kind of get a feel for where these characters are at, like mentally. I would say this is Brie Larson's best performance. She won an Oscar for a reason. But really, man, Jacob Tremblay as the kid Jack is just like, I can't count on one hand the amount of child acting I've seen that's this good. I mean, he is just raw. He's like natural, emotionally authentic for someone so young. It's just like he's really portraying complex feelings and emotions. And I don't know how old he was here, but he couldn't have been older than like 8 or 9, and he's just like in his back crushing it. The direction here is good. It's very focused and unflinching. You really get to see how like they just start different from when they're in the room to when they leave, and a lot of that has to do with the cinematography as well. The room's kind of like, you know, it's more colorful, almost like it's like you're seeing it from Jack's perspective, and it's kind of got like this magic to it. And then as soon as they like leave the room, like it definitely gets, it switches. Like you see like this like really like more colder colors. It gets kind of gray, and it like portrays like how the characters are feeling. Like it's very well done. There's some excellent shots in this during, I can't really talk about without spoiling it, in the middle that were really, really great. Thematically, this movie's about survival trauma and kind of the bond between a mom and her son. I really like this movie a lot. It is definitely a one and done though. I don't think I will ever watch it again. It's a beautiful, emotionally devastating film. Unforgettable performances from Brie and Mr. Tremblay here. Top marks to everyone involved. I'd recommend this one. This is top tier 24, but just know that it's gonna hurt, but in a good way near the end. So solid 8 out of 10. I got a drinking game for you. Watch Mojave, and every time Oscar Isaac says, "Brother, take a shot," and you'll be wasted for 30 minutes. Back on A24 train here with Mojave. This movie's not very good. It's a shame because it's written by the guy who did The Departed, William Monahan. He directs this as well. The synopsis is a suicide artist, this dude who plays Tom, goes out into the desert and he finds his doppelganger homicidal drifter, this guy, Oscar Isaac's character, Jack. And they do have some interesting conversations, though a lot of them just seem very pretentious to me, and kind of like the guy's just like, thinks he's very smart with what he's writing. It's just kind of like annoying. That being said, Oscar Isaac is having a lot of fun in this movie, so that's great. It's definitely to highlight whenever he's by himself. There's an iconic scene with him near the middle where he's in a Speedo with this cat, and it's just hilarious. You do get a little bit of Walter Goggins in this too, which is always great. Certainly Kate Brown's in this for a second as well, but they are just criminally underused. Unfortunately, a lot of the movie depends on this guy here, and I just did not think he's very good. Garrett Hudlin, I think's his name, and to me, it's his discount Austin Butler. Austin Butler would have killed this, but unfortunately, he's not in this. We get 2 movie version of him instead. So yeah, that's unfortunate. However, pretty decent cinematography in parts of this movie. Sounds whatever. Overall, this is disappointing. This is low tier A24. Don't watch this movie. I give it a solid 4 out of 10. All right, we're back on A24 train to start watching The Witch by Robert Eggers. This is feature film debut, and in my opinion, it's one of the earliest defining films of the A24 brand. Eggers wrote and directed this, which is hard to believe because it's his first, and he has such confidence and clarity in his vision. There's a lot of tension and dread in this, layered throughout. Every frame means something. I love this movie. I think it's fucking fantastic. The Witch is set in 1630 New England, and it follows this Puritan family that's cast out from their settlement, and they face these sinister forces in the woods near their new homestead. It's very spooky. The writing's deeply rooted in historical notes. Makes it feel more real and authentic. You got some stellar performances in this. This is the first time I think I ever saw Anya Taylor-Joy in anything, and she makes a hell of a first impression. She's just really, really crushing it here. Ralph Ineson, who's been in a lot of Edgar stuff after this, is also really great. Kate Nichols as the mom is awesome. Even the kids, which I usually generally don't like kids and stuff, kids are cooking in this as well. Like I said before, Eggers is just very meticulous in his direction. He understands the pacing and tone of this. I hear people complain about this movie, say it's slow. I don't know what movie they're watching. This movie is not slow. From the first frame to the end, there's always something happening if you're paying attention. I can see people having an issue with the tone and the inflection in which the people speak because it's very period based and historic. So sometimes that could be a little hard to understand what they're saying. But subtitles, man, subtitles. This is folk horror at its finest, one of the best in the genre of horror, in my opinion. High praise, I know, but I love this movie. This is a solid 10 out of 10 from Steve. Must watch A24 right here. The Witch Baby! Okay, number 30 in the A24 train. Remember, 2015's Remember. Remember, it was pretty good. I was kind of worried about this because I didn't like this Adam guy's last movie. I thought it was trash, but apparently it was just because Ryan Reynolds was in it. Because this movie is much better. Christopher Plummer plays elderly Holocaust survivor whose wife just passed, and he's on the hunt for the person responsible for killing their family back at Auschwitz. So it's kind of like a revenge tale, but with older people, and I'm really happy to see a film with old people in it because they don't ever get any shine, ever. This is a film where the premise alone is pretty heavy, and the film leans into it. It's very restrained at times, but when it's not, man, it's really coming for you. My man Christopher Plummer here really carries this film. He's got such grace and intensity in his role. He's very vulnerable at times because his character has a slight dementia thing going on, so he can't really remember stuff. And it's just really played with like such nuance and care. Like you really believe that he's going through these things, and I just ace. He's amazing in this. Mark Lando is also really good in this, and my boy Hank, whose name I can't remember from Breaking Bad's in this for a second, and he has just like a 10-minute scene, but he's awesome in it as well. Gotta give props to my boy Adam. The direction here is very quiet but purposeful and powerful. He lets the emotion really simmer with some shots and avoids like over stylizing things when you can just let the actors cook because the actors are cooking in this. The story rather unfolds at a really good pace, and it's really awesome kind of following the journey along as Zev gets to his final encounter. Cinematography and sound is fine, nothing to write home about, but I'm not mad at it either. I really like the themes here, though. You're really talking about stuff like aging and dealing with your trauma, your memory, and trying to find justice when you feel like you've been wronged. But the third act of this movie, it's gonna hit you because I didn't see it coming the way it did, and I think that really elevated it even more for me. This is a good one. It didn't blow me away. It's really great simply because Christopher Plummer is just like an incredible actor, and he's doing an awesome job. And that third act is nuts. So I'd recommend this one. It gets a solid 7 out of 10 from me. 7 out of 10, baby.